The rain fell in relentless sheets, hammering the cracked pavement of the city bus stop where Mia sat, her thin jacket soaked through, her shivering hands clutching a tattered backpack. Her dark hair clung to her face, masking the exhaustion in her eyes, but not the quiet defiance that kept her upright despite the cold biting into her bones. She was 24, but the weight of the world had aged her spirit far beyond her years. Homeless for nearly 6 months, she'd learned to navigate the city's unforgiving streets, to find warmth in the fleeting kindness of strangers, and to guard her heart against hope that never lasted. Tonight, though, something felt different. A small figure huddled under the bus stop's leaking shelter, a little girl no older than 7, her wide brown eyes peering out from beneath a hood too big for her tiny frame. The girl's gaze locked onto Mia, unafraid, curious, and then she spoke, her voice soft but piercing through the storm. "You need a home, and I need a mommy." Those words hung in the air, fragile yet heavy, like the raindrops that blurred Mia's vision. They stirred something deep within her, a longing she'd buried long ago, and in that moment, the world seemed to pause, as if fate itself was listening. Viewer engagement request. If you believe in the power of kindness, second chances, and the unexpected connections that change lives, please hit the like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, share this story with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Kindness Speaks for more heartwarming stories that remind us of the beauty in humanity. Your support keeps these stories alive. Mia's life hadn't always been this way. She'd grown up in a small town, where the air smelled of pine and the community knew every neighbor by name. Her parents were kind but strict, their modest home filled with the warmth of routine: dinner at 6, homework at the kitchen table, and bedtime stories read by her mother's gentle voice. Mia had dreams then, big ones. She wanted to be a teacher, to shape young minds with the same care her own teachers had shown her. But life has a way of unraveling even the best-laid plans. When she was 17, a car accident stole her parents from her, leaving her with nothing but a house full of memories and a heart full of grief. The bills piled up faster than she could manage, and by 18, the bank had taken the house. With no family to turn to, Mia drifted to the city, chasing the promise of a fresh start. Instead, she found herself in a world that chewed up hope and spit it out. Jobs were scarce for a girl with no degree, no address, and no one to vouch for her. Shelters were often full, and the streets were a maze of survival. She learned to sleep lightly, to hide her belongings, and to trust no one. Yet, despite it all, Mia held onto a flicker of kindness, offering her last dollar to a struggling mother or sharing her blanket with an older man shivering in an alley. It was her way of proving she was still human, still more than the label, homeless, that the world pinned on her. The little girl at the bus stop, though, was different. She wasn't like the others Mia had encountered, no guarded glances or hurried steps to avoid her. The girl's name, she'd later learn, was Lily. Her clothes were clean but worn, her sneakers scuffed and slightly too small. She carried a small backpack, the kind a child might take to school, but it was heavy, sagging with whatever she deemed important enough to carry. Lily's eyes held a story of their own, one of loss and longing, but also an unshakable determination that reminded Mia of herself at that age. When Lily spoke those words, "You need a home, and I need a mommy," Mia's first instinct was to laugh, to dismiss it as a child's naive fantasy. But something in Lily's voice stopped her. It wasn't just a wish, it was a plea, raw and unfiltered, as if the girl had been carrying those words for a long time, waiting for the right person to hear them. Mia's heart thudded, torn between fear and a strange, unfamiliar warmth. She wanted to ask questions. Where was her family? Why was she alone? But the rain was relentless, and the bus stop offered little shelter. Mia's voice was gentle as she invited Lily to sit closer, offering her half of the damp blanket she'd wrapped around herself. Lily hesitated, then scooted nearer, her small body radiating heat despite the cold. As the night deepened, Mia learned fragments of Lily's story. She lived with her grandmother in a cramped apartment nearby, but her grandmother was sick, her health fading fast. Lily's mother had left when she was too young to remember, and her father was a name she'd never known. The apartment was a temporary refuge, but the landlord's patience was wearing thin, and whispers of eviction loomed. Lily spoke matter-of-factly, her voice steady, but her hands trembled as she clutched her backpack. She'd seen Mia at the bus stop before, watching from a distance as Mia shared her food with a stray dog or offered a smile to a passerby who ignored her. To Lily, Mia wasn't invisible. She was someone who cared, someone who might understand what it felt like to be alone. Mia listened, her throat tightening with every word. She wanted to help, but what could she offer? She had no home, no money, no way to give this child what she needed. Yet, as the rain slowed to a drizzle and the city lights flickered to life, Mia felt a spark of something she hadn't felt in years: purpose. The next morning, Mia woke to find Lily still beside her, curled up under the blanket, her small hand gripping Mia's sleeve. The sight broke something in Mia, a wall she'd built to protect herself from caring too much. She didn't know how to be a mother, didn't know if she could even take care of herself, but she couldn't walk away from this girl. The city was waking up, buses rumbling past, people hurrying to their lives, oblivious to the two figures at the bus stop. Mia made a decision then, one that scared her more than the uncertainty of the streets. She would try to help Lily, even if it meant facing her own fears. She took Lily's hand, and together they walked to the apartment where Lily's grandmother lived. The building was old, its paint peeling, the hallways smelling of mildew and cooking oil. Lily's grandmother, Clara, was frail, her breathing labored, but her eyes were sharp and kind. She welcomed Mia with a warmth that felt foreign after so long on her own. Clara explained that she'd been trying to keep Lily safe, but her illness was winning, and she feared what would happen to her granddaughter when she was gone. Social services had been called, but the system was slow, and Lily's future was uncertain. Mia sat with Clara, listening, her heart heavy with the weight of their shared struggles. She didn't have answers, but she promised to come back, to check on Lily, to do what she could. Days turned into weeks, and Mia found herself returning to the apartment daily. She brought food when she could, scavenged from soup kitchens or donated by a kind vendor. She helped Clara with small tasks, washing dishes, folding laundry, while Lily followed her like a shadow, asking questions, telling stories, and laughing in a way that made Mia's chest ache with joy and fear. The more time she spent with Lily, the more Mia realized how much she wanted to be the person Lily saw in her, not the broken girl who'd lost everything, but someone strong, someone worthy of trust. Yet, the challenges were daunting. Mia's lack of a stable job or home made her feel inadequate, and the looming threat of eviction hung over Clara and Lily like a storm cloud. Mia began to search for solutions, visiting libraries to research resources, talking to shelter workers, and even swallowing her pride to ask for help from a local church. The process was slow, frustrating, and often humiliating. She faced rejection after rejection, jobs that required an address she didn't have, programs with waitlists months long. But Lily's belief in her kept her going. The little girl would draw pictures of a house with a garden, labeling it, "our home," and slip them into Mia's backpack. Each one was a reminder of what was at stake. One evening, as winter tightened its grip on the city, Mia sat with Clara while Lily slept. Clara took Mia's hand, her grip weak but firm, and told her something that shifted everything. "You're not just helping us," Clara said. "You're saving yourself, too." Those words hit Mia like a wave, forcing her to confront the truth she'd been avoiding. She'd been surviving, not living. Lily's need for her had awakened a part of her she thought was gone, a part that wanted to fight, to build, to love. Clara passed away a week later, her death quiet but devastating. Mia held Lily as she cried, promising to stay by her side, even as fear gnawed at her. Social services arrived, and Mia braced for the worst, expecting Lily to be taken away. But Clara had left a letter, naming Mia as the person she trusted most with Lily's care. It wasn't legally binding, but it was enough to make the caseworker pause, to see the bond between Mia and Lily. The caseworker connected Mia with a program for young adults transitioning out of homelessness, offering temporary housing and job training. It wasn't a perfect solution, but it was a start. Mia and Lily moved into a small apartment together, a place with creaky floors and thin walls but a warmth that felt like home. Mia enrolled in a training program to become a teacher's aide, her old dream flickering back to life. Lily started school, her backpack lighter now, filled with books instead of her entire world. There were still struggles, bills that stretched their budget, nightmares that woke Lily in the night, and Mia's own doubts that she wasn't enough. But they faced them together, their bond growing stronger with every shared meal, every bedtime story, every moment of laughter. Mia wasn't Lily's mother, not officially, but she was her family, and that was enough. The city, once so cold and indifferent, began to feel different, as if it had softened just for them. Mia would sometimes catch herself smiling at the bus stop where it all began, marveling at how a single moment, a single sentence, had changed everything. As spring arrived, Mia took Lily to a park, where they planted a small garden, just like the one in Lily's drawings. They knelt in the dirt together, their hands muddy, their laughter echoing. Mia looked at Lily, her face bright with hope, and felt a peace she hadn't known since she was a child herself. She wasn't just surviving anymore, she was building a life, not just for herself, but for the little girl who'd seen her when no one else did. The journey wasn't over, there would be more challenges, more moments of doubt, but Mia knew they'd face them together. She'd found a home, not in a place, but in the heart of a child who needed her as much as she needed her. Viewer engagement request. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of the power of connection and the strength of second chances, please hit the like button, share it with someone who needs a little hope, and subscribe to Kindness Speaks for more stories that move the soul. Your support means the world to us. Special request. Before you go, please leave a comment below sharing what this story meant to you or how it inspired you. Your words could brighten someone else's day, just like Mia and Lily did for each other.